Hey guys, Sundown here, and my god, One Punch Man 73. Suiryuu is an absolute monster. Suiryuu is a beast. Now, let me once again apologize first and foremost for this lighting. I think you've got this beam coming down here. Yeah, just around there. It's a beam of light. Can't really do anything about it. But yeah, Suiryuu was kicking. Well, he wasn't kicking ass so much as his ass was getting kicked. But the amount of sheer willpower this guy has, the amount of balls this guy's dragging around. I mean, how does he jump around, kick around, and everything like that? How does he fight with balls that size? This guy's an absolute monster. So we start off. It's chapter 73. It's called Resistance of the Strong. So we start off with Suiryuu getting his ass beat on. He's getting absolutely demolished by Goketsu, and he tries to fight back. He tries to kind of tries to retaliate in some way, and he jumps up on Goketsu's shoulder and punches his face like a million times, and nothing happens. Goketsu just laughs it off, and he's like, "Yeah, that was a good try, but you're not gonna get anything out of it." So then we see the other fighters who are doing absolute jack shit. They were surrounded by those three crows like a few chapters ago. They get the crap beat out of them by the crow monsters, and Soiryu gets distracted by this. He's like, "Oh shit, I was trying to protect those guys, and now they're getting their ass beat by the crows." And then Goketsu just pops up behind him. He's like, "You shouldn't be looking away from me, son." And he just absolutely sends him flying with a punch. Now, Suryu instinctively pulls up his arm in kind of like a block, but his arm breaks in the process. So now he's got one arm missing. Well, he's still got his arm there, but he's one arm disabled while he's trying to fight Goketsu, who's kicking his ass anyway, and now he has to try and fight him without one of his arms. So Goketsu, all the way throughout this fight, he keeps giving. I mean, right at the beginning of the chapter, he keeps giving Soiryu 3 seconds to get up. He doesn't. Goketsu seems to like to play with people weaker than him, and this might serve as his one weakness if he comes up against Saitama. I don't know if he will, but if he does come up against Saitama, this whole giving 3 seconds thing to get up from one of his hits or to get up from one of his punches or anything like that is going to be the end of him if he comes up against someone stronger than him, especially Saitama. So he keeps giving Suiryu 3 seconds to get up, and in this certain situation, right after Suiryu's arm breaks, Goketsu stamps on Suiryu and he says, "Get up." And Suiryu displays his unearthly desire, his freaking will to live and fight, and he gets up without one of his arms. He uses his right arm, I think it is, or is it his left? I don't know which one it is. I think it was his right, and he just pulls that up and he just squats the freaking weight up. Absolutely amazing. Suiryu is an absolute beast. This fight this fight for me brought a whole new level of respect to Suiryu, because from what we've seen of Suiryu so far, he seems he doesn't seem he is the type of guy who fights just for his own sake. He has a very carefree life, and he fights just to kind of lead an easy life. He doesn't want to do anything strenuous. He doesn't want to do anything that requires too much effort, which is weird considering how absolutely shredded the guy is. That takes effort, but it seems like it was the one thing he was talented in, and it's the one thing which he stuck to, and he doesn't really care about anything else. He just does that. He leads a very carefree life, and that's the only thing he really uses to get. If he needs to get chicks, he'll get chicks that way. If he needs to get money, he'll get money that way. He's a one trick pony, and he's very good at what he does, but he doesn't care about anything else. So this fight really brought a whole new perspective on Suiri. He was fighting for his life, and it might have been the same thing, like he was only fighting for himself. But it's the first time he's been in a difficult situation. The first time we've seen him in a difficult situation, and he's fighting for his life, and he's trying to fight for the lives of others as well. So it's a really nice perspective we get to see on Suiri. So when he gets up from Goketsu's foot, from under Goketsu's foot, he leaps towards Goketsu's face and kind of does his like, "This is my one chance to kill him. I'm gonna use it." So he leaps towards Goketsu's face and unleashes his Void Quake Tiger Fist, which Goketsu catches in between two fingers. He kind of just pinches it, and he's like, "What are you doing, man?" So this is where Soiryu is like, "Oh shit, well, this is the end for me." And he gets the absolute crap pummeled out of him. Goketsu just flicks him constantly, and he's getting absolutely destroyed. And then he throws him when freaking Soiryu is black and blue, and he's absolutely destroyed. And once again, Goketsu gives Suiryu another chance to get up. And Suiryu, being a freaking monster, gets up, refusing to stand down. So then he gets kicked back down by Goketsu. and we see this panel where he's just kind of staring up at Goketsu, staring up at this monolithic being, and he states how inhumane and how devilish and demonic this being is, and realizes that this is what a monster is. This is what all the heroes are fighting against, and this is kind of what he's been letting slide. These are the kind of things that he should have been there for, and he's letting them slide. He doesn't think all that, but that's kind of where I think this is going. So with all the other fighters having been pummeled, Suiryuu is then thrown to the crows, the 3 crow monsters. He's thrown to them, and they're given the green light to kind of eat him, because that's what they do. They just eat their favorite delicacies, martial artists. They love to eat martial artists. So in another all or nothing bid, Suiryuu tries to stay alive. He tries to stay alive like he's been doing since the beginning of this chapter, and since last chapter when he got his ass beat into the ground. So we find out that the crows used to be Goketsu's disciples, but they were so weak-willed, or they were weak-willed enough, that once they ate their monster cells, those monster heart things, they lost their personalities. So Suiryuu's trying to... They gather around him, and we see Suiryuu for the first time actually try to flee. He tries to run away, but he gets caught up in between them again, and they don't let him escape. And this is the first time, actually, that Suiryuu starts to think, maybe I might die. This is a really bad situation. I might not make it out of this. So then, while he's thinking about this, he kind of notices to his right that Bakuzan is stood outside of the ring just watching it all. So he's like, shit, Bakuzan, I'm getting my ass kicked here. You might want to help me, And Bakuzan's just stood there like, he responds with the same old drivel that we hear, but you expect it from Bakuzan, seeing what we've seen of him. And the drivel is that he could never be as strong as Suiryuu. He can't stand at the pinnacle of mankind like Suiryuu has. Even though Suiryuu isn't the pinnacle of mankind, because we've got people like Saitama. Even Bang is probably stronger than Suiryuu. I assume he is. And there's probably a few more people in the S-Class heroes who are stronger than Suiryuu himself. So Bakuzan just doesn't really know about humankind, but that doesn't really take away from his response of, I could never be as strong as Suiryuu. So he's saying that if Suiryuu is getting destroyed by these monsters, how am I going to be any help to you? So he's such a coward, he's not even going to try to help. But it's also because of his own idea of, I can't, not only can I not help you, but I don't really want to help you because you're better than I am. So yeah, like I said, he makes a point that Suiryuu may stand at the pinnacle of mankind, but monster kind is on another level. And on that note, Bakuzan munches him like several monster cells. He just munches them down, stuffs them down his throat, saying his new aspiration, his new ambition is to become the strongest monster. As he's doing that, he even threatens Goketsu. He's like, bitch, I'm gonna kick your ass too. So Goketsu's stood there, and he's like, he's calling back. He looks at Bakuzan. He's like, you're a greedy bastard, dude, and says that he ate too many monster cells. And then, as we see, Bakuzan just dies straight away. His eyes kind of pop out. They're jellified, and he just dies. Well, we assume he's dead. We don't actually know if he's dead. He just clutches his stomach and falls to the ground. So now Suiryuu is actually the last man standing. The others are monsters. So Goketsu's like, bruh, it's okay now. No one's here. No one's gonna hear you scream. You can scream. I want to hear you scream. And still to this moment, Suiryuu did not scream. But it's the first time that he actually completely gives up. He doesn't scream, but he does finally give in as a crow tries to come in and like peck him to death. And as his face looks sullen, he looks down and he's like, yeah, this is the end of the line for me. We see Snek come in, the freaking snakeskin guy. I think he's an A-class hero. He comes in and parries away the shot. He had the crow's beak. He parries it away with one of his moves. It's like a defense Snek move or something like that. And then Lightning Max pops up out of nowhere and attacks another crow. And both heroes stand in front of Suiryuu, protecting him. He's behind them. And Suiryuu just stood there like, bruh, what are you guys doing here? You had the opportunity to escape. You were actually safe. You've come back. You've even changed your clothes. Why the hell are you guys here? And this is the best part of the chapter for me, where Snek and Max kind of just look at each other like, what are you talking about? We're here to rescue you. We're here to save you. And Suiryuu's face in the next panel after they said that says it all. It's a mix of like all his sadness, his desperation, his loss of will, his shock. He was almost on the brink of tears. This guy was about to die. He'd accepted his death in that last panel. And you can see it all on his face. The shock, almost like the happiness and the sadness mixed of Snek and Max having come to save him. And then the shock of hearing that people had come to save him. it was a really really well drawn panel, and like actually all these chapters, I've never mentioned it, but the artwork in these chapters is amazing. I've not read One's original chapters, the guy who actually makes them, but I've forgotten the artist who draws these current chapters, these ones which are slightly behind. But he's also the guy that drew. He's the author of Ice Shield 21. Is it Murata? Something Murata. And he's an absolute beast. His artwork is amazing. These chapters are so good in terms of the sheer artwork is really really well drawn. So yeah, we see Suiryuu with all that mix of emotion, and then Snek tells us about his snakeskin suit and how it came from a monster he killed, and it can repel claws, fangs, beaks, all that kind of stuff, all those types of attacks. And Max is wearing his lightning shoes. So then they all pick one crow, who they're gonna take out. Well, Snek and Max pick one crow they're gonna take out, and they say to Suiryuu, "We're gonna leave one to you because we can't take all three." So then in the last awesome double spread, they all take out one crow, and that's how it finishes. These chapters always finish abruptly, even though we got like 34 pages or something like that. So it was a really really well done chapter. I really enjoyed this chapter. It was really good. I think I'd give it like an 8.5, maybe even a 9, just because of how much will and how much progression we saw for Suiryuu. He didn't say anything, he just had to do it all. And Suiryuu was getting his ass beat throughout this chapter. He kept getting back up, never ever stayed down. And even when he accepted death, straight after he accepted death and realized that he could continue, he carried on. My guy had a broken arm, a broken will, broken face by the looks of things, and he carried on going like it didn't mean a thing. This guy was bleeding all over the place. Goketsu slapping this guy black and blue, and he carried on getting up. Suiryuu was an absolute beast. Now the only question I can deem, or the only question I can really derive from this chapter is, and I think a lot of you might agree, I'm not sure how it will turn out, but this chapter's really made me consider whether Suiryuu will see this as an opportunity to become a hero. Now, as I mentioned before, Suiryuu has always been leading this kind of carefree life. He's always been doing things his own way, and he doesn't really mind. He gets chicks, money, booze, whatever he wants through fighting. And he doesn't really help people with fighting. You know, he's got all this strength, but he doesn't use it to help people. He uses it only to help himself. But in this chapter, he kind of realizes what a monster is, what a monster can be. I mean, nothing's really come in his way so far that could hurt him. So this is the first time that something's hurting him, and it's a monster, and it's absolutely destroying him. And he's realized, shit, this is how monsters can be. This is how the normal people feel when they're getting beat down on by all these monsters, and I'm stood there doing nothing. And now for the first time, he's being saved by two heroes who he could beat easy. He could beat the crap out of them, well, outside of their hero forms, without their hero clothes. But even with their hero clothing and attire, he could probably kick the shit out of them really really easily. And they're saving him at this moment in time, just because that's their personality. That's what they do. They're heroes. They save people. So from his face, you could tell that maybe he might just move on to that path. He might become a hero just because it's the right thing to do. He has all that power. He needs to use it. And from this traumatic experience which he suffered, he might go down that path. So if that happens, I think he'd be a really good hero. But hopefully he keeps his personality of, you know, being that carefree guy, but he just comes when there's a beast-ass monster. Because Goketsu is on a dragon level. Goketsu is one of the strongest monsters we've seen. I think only the Boros guy, the alien dude that Saitama fights at the end of the season 1 in the anime, only he has really been stronger than Goketsu. I mean, dragon is meant when you're a threat to multiple cities or something like that. So he's not a threat to humanity at the moment, but he is strong enough to absolutely wreck Suiryuu at dragon level. So I think Suiryuu will become a hero. I think it's part of his character. He just hasn't found that part of himself yet. And like I said, the chapter was awesome. Let me know if you guys like the chapter. I'm assuming you guys did. Any theories you've got, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Any theories you've got, send that to me, or just talk about them in the comments and I'll read it. But yeah, I'll see you guys later.